Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather coming at you with another video. In this update, we're going to talk about the winter storm that's impacting the Northeast on Sunday night into Monday, all the way into Tuesday, and it'll eventually roll out into Wednesday. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload about 5 videos a week to keep you updated. All right, so let's get started. So here is an overall snowfall map that happened in fall, since this is the first day of winter, which starts today. Meteorologically, winter is December 1st, and actual winter starts December 21st, but they calculate the stats for those 90 days of winter starting on December 1st. So this is all the snowfall that fell in fall, and we can start with the winter storm that impacted the Northwest earlier on in the week, and which was referred to as a bomb cyclone. And the term bomb was actually started way back in the 1940s from meteorologists. So it's not a new term whatsoever, but it's just become more mainstream over the years. And it basically refers to a low pressure that drops 24 millibars or more over a 24-hour period and more or less deepens or bottoms out. And that's where they refer to it as a bomb. And so this one was a big event. It was the all-time lowest pressure in Oregon, 970 millibars. It had 106 mile per hour wind gust at peak. This eventually rolled down, had like 3 tornado that dropped near San Diego area, had a lot of rainfall to Southern California, dumped a lot of snow, more snow into Utah, into Colorado, then eventually swung up and dumped another 17 inches in Great Falls, Montana, which ended at 60 inches now for fall. And I think it dumped another 19 inches in Duluth, Minnesota. And it eventually will swing across to Wisconsin and dumped a little bit of snow. And now it's going to be impacting the Northeast and have another low pressure from the same DNA that came all the way from the Northwest, which is pretty incredible. So here's what I'm talking about. And so here's the overall 500 millibar pattern. It has a classic setup with the high from the north, has convergent underneath, lowers the pressures, has another low pressure developing off the northeast coast. And essentially you have these tight isobars tightening up. And it is a classic signature where we have a classic nor'eastern coming into the northeast. And so when this happens, a lot of times you'll be hearing what they call cold air damming, or CAD. And so basically this is an event that usually happens between October and April. Well, essentially you've got this low pressure coming off the southwest, and then you got high pressure overhead. As soon as this crosses the Appalachian Mountains, you kind of get this clockwise flow of cold air that funnels in, and then you have this warm, moist air. So out ahead of it, you kind of get this changeover effect where we're getting some icy setup and some sleet falling in Pennsylvania right now. So as this cold air or cold air damming filters in, it moistens up all layers of the atmosphere, and eventually this will change over all to snow as this swings up. And so that's the setup we're looking at. And here's kind of a broader picture of what it looks like right now, as you can see that kind of a changeover effect taking place in Pennsylvania and southern New York right now. And as this swing up, it'll deepen this low pressure. We got an upper low and a surface low, and eventually they will combine into one low. And so you can see, if we take it out another frame, this is the current European model, has that changeover, that ice event, and some models have anywhere from a quarter to a half inch before the snow spot the start. So we'll be looking for a pretty icy setup up in Pennsylvania and southern New York as this system kind of gets its act together. And if you take it out another frame, you can see it deepening even more and dumping more heavy snow over Pennsylvania and New York. And we'll go over the snowfall totals at the end. But this will start really cranking by Tuesday in the Boston area and Worcester as it swings up the coast, and eventually snow itself out, over Maine, but it'll be over a 2 to 3 day event. So we're just kind of getting going with this system. And here's another frame where you kind of see it deepens off the coast and has that classic water vapor. We got really warm waters along the coast here, and so it's taking advantage. You got warm water coming in, and that overrunning effect. And a lot of times we have 1 to 2 inch snowfall rates. They're going to be dumping heavy snow over an extended period of time. And as you can see, it kind of swings up the coast and eventually be turned into all snow as it goes up into Maine. But here's the latest water content, what they call the fat levels. And you can see it really kind of deepens out over Connecticut and the Boston area up into Rhode Island. These rates could anywhere between 1 and 1.5 inch as far as liquid. So there's a lot of moisture with this system, and I can show you the overall precipitation totals of the actual water with this system, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches, in some spots 2.5 inches. So there's a lot of water to work with, and you know, if you have like a 10-to-1 ratio, we can get up to those 20-inch snow amounts at peak times. So here's kind of an overall picture of the latest GFS model of the output, having some snow coming into West Virginia area, but that changeover effect into Pittsburgh, where I'm thinking 1 to 3 inches, into Pittsburgh, 2 to 4 into Philly. And as this moves up, I'm thinking anywhere from 6 to 12 inches in Boston, and probably even higher amounts in Worcester. But as this swings up the coast, we could have a few surprises, because that fat level, that water content values are pretty high. And so even some of these amount, we could have some surprises, even though what the models are actually showing right now. Here's kind of an overall picture of the latest NAM. I like to use this on a shorter term look because it's a great mesoscale model. But all these models have been kind of closing in and kind of being pretty consistent with the snowfall output, cranking out heavy snow amounts anywhere from 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, and inland by Albany, 18 to as much as 2 feet of snow, where this could really be cranking out. And I can show you the latest European model. If we kind of like zoom into it, it has heavy snow amounts in Connecticut, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and swinging up the coast. So, and Albany's got about 18 inches. So there's going to be, anywhere from, like I said, 6 to 12 inland, and possibly 18 inches, some 18 inches or more in isolated spots. And so here's an overall pick of the National Weather Service and their outlay of what they're kind of looking at. You can see Albany, they've got 8 to 12, and they're probably a little bit conservative on some of these numbers, but it does have a bullseye just west of Albany of 18 to 24 inches, but it's got anywhere from 3 to 4 in Providence. I think it had, like I said, so these kind of gives you a different view of the different amounts of where all these set up. But either way, this is going to be 3 to 6 inches in New York City, I'm thinking. So a lot of these areas that have not actually seen snow closer to the coast this year, we start off meteorology winter with a bang for that first initial snowfall. And it's going to be a big one for a lot of you guys, especially in those higher elevated areas. So, hey guys, I wanted to get this out to you tonight. I was out with my family all weekend visiting out of town, so I'm just getting in. But I appreciate you guys tuning in and staying with me tonight, and definitely share with your friends on social media that like weather-related content. And please subscribe to my channel and tune in tomorrow for my U.S. weekly forecast, where I protect you before and after the storm.